I'm Lynn Lunoe, sewing educator and enthusiast, and today I'm here to talk with you about the 1910s. In the early part of the 1900s, children didn't have electronic toys or video games. They played with kites, toy trains, and of course, their dolls. It's always fun when you make your own fashions to use some of the leftover fabric and trims to create fashions for your doll as well. But those little tiny pattern pieces are often hard to cut and they can easily get lost. So today I'm going to show you a way to save your doll patterns and all those little tiny pieces easily on a USB stick that you can just use on your electronic scanning machine. So let me just take a few minutes to show you how to do that. It's very easy, and it's very easy then to retrieve your patterns and cut your next doll fashion. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my pattern piece, and you can see there's markings on the pattern piece. I'm not going to need all of these markings on my scanned image, so I'm just going to lay this on a piece of cardstock, trace around it. Be sure to make the notches stick out because the scanning machine and cutting machine will cut those notches for you. Then I'm going to cut those pieces out and I'm going to lay them on my scanning mat, which I'm then going to load into the scanner. So I'm loading it in now, and I'm going to scan this image, and I'm going to scan to the cutter itself right now, and then I'll show you how to save that to the USB stick. So it's scanning the image, and as it goes through, it's reading all of those lines and notches that you added so that when it comes time to cut, the cutter knows exactly where to cut the fabric. Margaret Johnson sent us these ideas from her blog, Gigi's Doll Collections, and the patterns will be available on links from our website. Now the scanner is recognizing the images that I've scanned in, and it's going to ask me what I'd like to do with it, and I'm going to do some editing functions with it. You'll see how easy it is to duplicate these designs and save them into one file. I'm going to need 4 collars and 2 skirt pieces from this fabric. So there's my image, and I'm going to save that, and I can save it to either my USB stick or my cutter, but right now I'm going to save it to my cutter, and there it is. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the edit screen here, and I'm going to go back to the home screen. I'm going to select that pattern, and I'm going to move this into position. I'm going to touch OK. It opens up the edit screen. I'm going to select the image, and I'm going to then go here and duplicate that skirt. So I'm going to make 2 skirts and then move them into position. Sorry. And OK. And it duplicated the skirt. And then I'm going to flip it and rotate it 90 degrees and put it into place. Then I'm going to do the same thing with the collar images, and I'm going to duplicate those and rotate them and move them into position, and I'll show you what that looks like when you get the final image on the screen. So we're going to go back here, we're going to go to the patterns, and we're going to select ones that I've saved already. Here they are, and you can see how I've positioned all those pieces right on the screen. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to unload my image mat, and I'm going to load in my fabric mat. Okay, now I'm going to scan the fabric to make sure my pattern pieces fit on each of these color fabrics. And it's going to scan the fabric in, and then it's going to show me on the screen exactly where those images are going to cut. So if I have to make any adjustments, I can do that before I cut out my fabric. And it's ready to cut. And you can see it's telling me it's cutting. And while that's cutting, I'll show you I have one already finished here with all of the pieces perfectly cut out. And I'm ready to go to my sewing machine and sew. I even have the notches here, so all the markings are there. And I can create beautiful fashions for my dolls to cover the entire century.